He came from a humble family. His father, Thomas Carter, worked long hours at a steel mill, his face always dusted with iron residue. His mother, Margaret Carter, stitched clothes for neighbors to earn a few extra coins. They loved their son deeply, but they never taught him one thing: how to believe in himself. Elias stuttered when he spoke. He avoided eye contact. He hated being noticed. In school, he always sat in the last seat. He never raised his hand, not because he didn't know answers, but because he feared judgment. In the year 1887, in the small industrial town of Ashford, New York, where factories hummed like thunder and the Hudson River shimmered with silent ambition, lived a boy named Elias Carter. Elias was 16, skinny, average-looking, and painfully shy. The 19th century was a time when confidence was worn like a badge by inventors, businessmen, and leaders who shaped America. But Elias? He wore silence instead. The world felt heavy to him, his thoughts louder than his voice. Other boys teased him. "Look, it's the ghost of Ashford," they laughed. "Say something, Eli." "Oh, wait, you can't." Their words carved tiny cracks into his self-esteem. Yet deep inside, Elias burned a dream, not a small one. He wanted to become a public speaker, someone who could inspire thousands, change minds, and ignite hearts. A wild dream for a boy who could barely speak to 10 people without trembling, but a dream nonetheless. A turning point. One evening, Elias was delivering coal to homes to earn money. It was snowing lightly. Smoke from chimneys curled into the night sky like handwritten letters of destiny. He reached the home of Mr. Jeremiah Blackwood, a retired war veteran and one of the most respected men in town. Mr. Blackwood was known for his posture, booming voice, and unwavering presence. When he spoke, even adults listened like students. Elias left coal by the door and turned to leave when, "Boy!" the voice froze him mid-step. Elias slowly turned. Mr. Blackwood stood tall, leaning on a carved oak cane, eyes sharp like an eagle's. "What is your name?" Elias, sir." "You carry yourself like a question mark," the old man said. "Why?" Elias didn't know how to answer. His words tangled like loose wires. Mr. Blackwood stepped closer. "You are young. America is young. This country is built by men who speak boldly and walk bravely. You have a voice. Use it." "I try, sir, but I'm afraid." "Then let me give you a secret," the veteran said, tapping his cane to the ground. "Confidence is not the absence of fear. It is the mastery of it." Elias blinked. The sentence struck him harder than winter wind. Mr. Blackwood continued. "Successful people all share one weapon. They trust themselves before the world does." He turned toward his house, paused, and said one final thing. "If you wish to change your life, boy, start by changing how you stand in your own mind." Then he went inside. The first lesson: body language. Elias walked home, replaying the words in his head. That night, he stood before a cracked mirror in his room. The reflection showed a nervous boy, but Elias decided to change that image. He adjusted his shoulders. He lifted his chin. He inhaled deeply. He forced eye contact with himself. For the first time, Elias didn't look away. He practiced standing like someone who had something to say. Days turned into weeks. Slowly, his body began to rewrite the story his mind once believed. The second lesson: small wins build big belief. Elias started setting tiny challenges. Speak one sentence to a stranger daily. Walk through school hallways without looking down. Read one paragraph aloud every night. They were small victories, but each one whispered, "You can do this." The third lesson: the power of preparation. In the 19th century, people admired intelligence, but they followed confidence. Elias learned that confidence wasn't magic, it was preparedness. He began reading newspapers, studying leaders, memorizing speeches of Abraham Lincoln, observing politicians, and practicing voice modulation. He wrote his own speeches in a leather notebook. He rehearsed them like prayers. Failure arrives before success. One day, the school announced a town speech competition. Elias's heart pounded. His dream pushed him forward. forward. He signed up. The entire class gasped. Elias? A speaker competition? Impossible. Competition day came. The town gathered. Lamps glowed. Winter coats rustled. Judges sat like statues of expectation. Elias stepped on stage. His knees trembled. He opened his mouth and froze. His mind turned blank. Words evaporated. Confidence collapsed like a house of cards. The audience waited, then murmured, then laughed. Elias ran off stage humiliated. That night he didn't sleep. He cried quietly so his parents wouldn't hear. Failure had shaken him, but something deeper stirred awake. Mr. Blackwood returns. The next morning, Elias found Mr. Blackwood waiting near the river. "You ran," the old man said. "I failed," Elias whispered. "You tried. Most never do. That alone is proof of courage." "But they laughed at me." Mr. Blackwood looked toward the flowing river and said, "Do you know how steel becomes strong?" Elias shook his head. "By fire," and repeated hammering. He tapped Elias's notebook. "Your confidence was weak because you built it on people's reactions. Never do that. Build it on your preparation and your character." Elias finally understood. The world wasn't his enemy. His untrained mind was. The transformation. Elias practiced twice as hard. He failed many more times in private, but improved every day. His stutter reduced. His posture sharpened. His voice gained weight. His thoughts gained direction. The cracks in his mind began sealing with belief. The final stage. 1 year later, in 1888, the competition returned. The town buzzed again. Elias stepped on stage, this time differently. Not like a question mark, like a statement. He began, "Ladies and gentlemen, confidence is not gifted, it is forged. And tonight I speak not because I am fearless, but because fear no longer controls me." Silence, then attention, then admiration. He delivered a 5-minute speech that sounded like revolution. The judges rose. The audience erupted. His parents cried, not from shame this time, but pride. Mr. Blackwood nodded like a man who knew the ending before the world saw it. Elias won first place, but more importantly, he won himself back. Years later, Elias grew into a man known across America as Elias Carter, the voice of the new century. He spoke in town halls, universities, and eventually large American gatherings. His speeches inspired entrepreneurs, dreamers, soldiers, teachers, and ordinary Americans. Reporters once asked him, "What is the secret weapon of successful people?" Elias smiled and said, "Self-confidence, the belief that you can carry your own dream before anyone else carries it for you."